Okay, hello everyone. Okay, that's the spirit. We're in Bali Spirit Festival special edition though. So I want you guys to give me all your spirits out for tonight, okay? Sounds good? I need a thumbs up, everyone. Okay? All good? Okay, awesome. So hello everyone, welcome. I'm super excited and I'm feeling super good to be back on the Betelnut stage. Welcome to the 39th edition of PechaKucha. Okay, nice. It's getting there. You just need a little bit of practice. And today is the first PechaKucha Night in 2019. So I just want to give a little introduction about myself. So I saw a lot of faces, new faces here. So just give me 1 minute to introduce myself, if that's okay. So my name is Kashfi. Yeah, it's hard to pronounce. So I always say how you can call me is Cash and Fee. So Cash Fee. You can call me Cash or Fee, whatever it is. When you see me, just call me Cash. I guess it's better. So I'm the event coordinator for Ubud and also the PechaKucha organizer here in Ubud. So about the PechaKucha, who's never been to PechaKucha before? I want to see the hands. Ooh, a lot of new people who haven't been to PechaKucha. So yeah, I just gonna give you a brief of information about PechaKucha. So this event is a global event that we bring to Ubud. So we're the official organizer here in Ubud for PechaKucha Night Ubud, of course. So it's been 7 years that we organize this, and it's actually an inspirational kind of talk where we invite speakers to give inspirational speeches. But what's make it different from any other talk is the format itself. So for PechaKucha, for each speakers, they only have 20 seconds to present for each slide. So the total of the slides itself, it's 20 slides. So 20 slides and each slide, it's 20 seconds. Okay, yeah, it's there. So yeah, that's PechaKucha. So PechaKucha is brought to you by Ubud. It's been 7 years that we've been organizing this PechaKucha. We even organized this before our co-working space opened. So we had it before in some cafe as a pop-up events. And since we saw a lot of good demands from people, it seems like everyone's loved PechaKucha. So that's why we're still having it here, and right now it's 7 years already. Can I get an applause right there? All right, so the next one, I just want to say thank you for Betelnut as well. So for some of you who's never been to Betelnut, so Betelnut is a gathering place. They also do screening here for some movie. They serve Asian cuisine and a bar. So if you want to get some food, it is also available when you're coming here. So just pop in by, see what they have on their Facebook, if you want to check on their events. For those who have been on this stage, know how difficult it is to speak in only 6 minutes 40 seconds. Everyone's love to talk, right? Am I right? Yeah, and to make it as fast as possible, especially with this format, they put a lot of work, especially to all the speakers. So, can I have an applause, everyone, for all the speakers that we have tonight? So, we have 6 speakers lined up. So, there's this one job for you guys that I want you to do. So every time I talk about the speakers, the name of the speaker, when I say the name of the speaker, please give them an applause, just to give them the energy. Okay? Sounds good? All right, so the first one, we have Akiko Mega. Okay, the energy is there. The second one, we have Gaby Ashwenden. The third one, we have Nino Mendes. Oh my God, I love the crowd tonight. The fourth one, we have Soma Temple. Next one, we have Low Key. And the last one, we have Cole Chance. Ooh. Okay. Seems like Cole have bring her own supporter here. So yeah, who's ready for tonight? Should we just go and move forward to the first speaker? Yes? All right, let's go. So the first one, we have Akiko. So how it works, so right now I'm just gonna give you a brief information of the speakers so you get a better knowing on who's speaking at this talk. So Mega is a designer and midwife of growth, background and transformation experience. Akiko helps people forge more meaning, creativity, and empowerment in their lives. Her work with clients in fashion and motherhood give her an intimate understanding of the inner working of desire, action, and transformation. She's excited about building the Mega Center for Whole Wellness, a place for people to gather and grow together in the breathtaking wilderness of Hokkaido, Japan. So give applause everyone for Akiko.
Hi. Thank you. I'm Akiko. I'm a designer of transformation experiences. You can see my work in fashion or in momming it or in my coaching and consulting practice or in building my center, the Mega Center for Wellness. So my big question is, how do we build lives that are more meaningful and creative? I like to think that I'm pretty good at this, but there are two areas that I really wasn't, and that was in work and in marriage. So the day that I signed my divorce, I signed on to a really big corporate job, and then later I realized I went from one toxic environment into another. So I had to ask myself, what's my part in choosing that? So I traveled to beautiful California and did work on myself and eventually landed into coaching. I studied with Helen Attridge, who's in the house. She brings a really important part, which is conscious change, to coaching. So class was really intense, and out of class we have this thing called rock soup. It's like stone soup. It's a really generous way to share our gifts and get to know each other out of class. There was yoga classes, meditation, running club for people who don't run. So people were giving in all different ways, and Coach Nick, Nicole, and Pavel, they decided to give an online dating workshop. And I thought, wow, that's really interesting. Maybe we'll give it a try. So Nicole is a nomad, and she'd been nomadic for 2 years, and I overheard her saying, anytime I'm in a city for more than 4 days, I swipe. Not so much to hook up, but you'd be amazed how much you get to know the city or the people who live in it. And so the day that the workshop came, half of the class started to leave. And they said, bye guys, we're married, bye. And then she said, wait. If it's anyone who needs to look at how you're showing up in your relationships, it's you guys. So we all stayed. And so Coach Nick, she's very smart. She made it really simple. She made it all about, what do you really, 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 really want? And what do you want to call in? And how are you going to call it in? So that's basically the first 3 steps of the coaching process. And so I was equally mortified and excited about creating a profile, having not dated for 12 years. I got in, she broke us up into groups and started picking up photos and writing blurbs. And she said, hey, can I look at your settings? Are you a woman looking for women? And I said, no, I'm a woman looking for man. She said, okay, we need to look at your settings. But I realized it wasn't really about the settings. I had to go back rewind and ask myself what I really wanted. What do I appreciate? What kind of conversations do I want? What kind of physical presence do I enjoy? So all of that. And then I realized, okay, let's get honest here. And also, let's get out of our comfort zone. I didn't realize that in order to see the next profile, you actually had to swipe, say yes, or say no, or just, swipe left or right, but you had to take action. I also got to upload a bikini pic and experience my inner Mrs. Robinson. But out of all of this, what was the most important I learned was action. So whether it's yes or no, swipe right or swipe left, it was about sensing, about noticing, and about swiping with intention. So that reminded me of something. It was a kriya. So in Kundalini Yoga, we talk about kriyas as a combination of posture, breath, sound, to create a certain outcome. So I started practicing in that way and realized that our dreams or desires stay simply dreams and desires if we don't pair action. So what happens when we have intention, and then the desire, and then the action? Then we have new realities. When I stayed in this practice, I realized, wow, this isn't just happening in dating. I'm bringing this into all parts of my life. This is actually about fitness. This is about heart fitness. This is the practice of presence. And this is about inviting a curious and kind workout partner to the process and seeing what unfolds. So I've been talking about this as a practice, and my friends make fun of me for it. It's like, oh, she's, on her online dating practice. But I actually do open up my meditation timer, set it to 10 minutes, and before it goes ding, I set my intention. I breathe in. And then I start looking at the profiles, and I put my types aside, and then when I match, something really interesting happens. It's not about my types, it's not about who I should be with, it's actually getting to see who is in for the workout, and also who accepts me for showing up in the way that I am. So a funny thing starts happening. I started saying sometimes, maybe I'm more myself online than in real life. But then what starts happening is, oh wow, I'm accepted in this way. Maybe I should do this in real life. So I invite you. Who here swipes and is online? Anyone? Okay. How many of you are swiping consciously? Okay. I invite more of you to swipe in this way and see what happens. The more honest we get, the more dorked out we get, or whatever it is. It's amazing who shows up as a mirror in this practice. So I invite you to let all parts of you come out to play. And what you might find is that the parts of us that we might want to keep hidden, the parts of us that we keep from social media and everything, are actually the parts of us that are most powerful. You might match, you might fall in love, you might fall out of love. I've done all of that and found business partners, actually. But what I found is a lot of myself. And I'd like to quote Frida Kahlo, I am my own muse. The subject I know best. The subject I want to better. And I'd like to add to that, the person I want to love more. Thank you.
All right. I want you to stay here. All right, that's nice, Akiko. Now I want to start more consciously swiping. Or not.
Okay, you can set up 2 profiles, one on Tinder, one on Bumble. Do conscious on one.
I do both. No worries, I have like 6 dating applications.
Okay. So choose one to stay conscious on and see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can try it out. We'll see. Ubud is a black hole, guys. It's really deep. All right. Enough about that. We need to be more conscious when you're doing swiping. Remember. All right. So right now we're just gonna open question and answer.
I didn't know. Oh, that's right. You did put that in the
All right. So we're gonna open question and answer for 3 people. So do you guys have any question on the crowd? Up. No question? No question? Okay, there you go. Come on, think more, guys.
So I love the concept of intention plus streaming plus action. And I'm curious, in what other ways other than dating, since you've learned that, has that really shown up strongly in your life?
Thank you so much for asking. And this is actually the point. And in creating the 20 slides in 20 seconds, it was hard to fit in. So thanks for asking. I love this way of doing it. Because if I see you as a coach and you come in and you're talking about, I don't know what I want to do with my job, what I want to do next, we bring so much of our head into it. And so much of what I should do. And so much of our learned patterns and behaviors, right? But when we're swiping, we're like, or oh, or like, oh my God, why am I laughing? Like he's not even my type, but yeah, right? So it's a really, it's an intuitive way of learning how to sense. So when we leave our mind in a basket for a second, then it becomes really exercising a different part of ourselves. So when we continue, and I do this with my coaching clients, it's really interesting. When they start practicing this, it becomes so intuitive. And it's happened for me. I start doing it when I'm on the school run, thinking, oh God, I really want a cup of coffee. But then I stop myself and I say, if you really want that cup of coffee, are you gonna stop now? Or are you gonna stop complaining about it? Right? Or what do I want my relationship with my mom to be like? If I don't want her to talk about that thing, then what am I gonna do about it? So it's a really great gateway to start practicing without judgment and really notice and then ask yourself, okay, so what am I gonna do? So really the swiping and the online dating app is just the gateway, and it just starts to spill out in so many other areas of our lives. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
I love your presentation, thank you.
Thank you.
So you shared something about when you actually online, you're more of yourself, right? And now you start to living more of yourself in the real life. So is there any part of you which you still resisting to live? How do I say this? Like, are there anything else still you feel like you're not show yourself fully yet?
Right, that's a really good question. It's a process, and it's also kind of testing for what I want. The fact that I'm a mom, I don't put in my profile, but it's also, for me, a way to keep things open. And actually, the process of this practice, it's in all stages. There's the swiping part, and then when we get in the chat part, it's the same. I stay present, I breathe, and I stay present, and then I choose how I want to show up. So there, I might mention, you know, I'm a single mom. And then when I meet, again, it's the same process. So for me, it's about when do I disclose what in order to connect maybe most fully, right? And there was a whole process of putting everything on the profile and then taking some information and keeping it for the chat or keeping it for the conversations that happen in face-to-face meetings. Thank you.
Up here. Hey. Hi, Akiko. Up here. Hi. I want to check if you're still single, and if so, how long?
Sorry?
How long has this taken so far?
All right. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I think
On point.
I'd love to be invited back for another 20 slides on that one. What I find is that my definitions around relationships are really changing. So the whole setup of relationship status, whether it's single or in a relationship or it's complicated, I'm starting to see what it's complicated actually means. But it doesn't need to be complicated. It's just sometimes I'm realizing people have different definitions of what relationship is. And so for me, I'm seeing that it's not about relationship and the mold of relationship. I saw that when I was divorcing. There's so many times that we're so intent on saving the marriage, but what is that if it doesn't fit what we want, right? So to answer your question, I am in deep connection with someone. And I don't know if I would call it like a conventional relationship, but yes.
There
Is
you
that-
go.
An answer? Is that good?
All good? Okay. All right. We have 3 questions already, so thank you so much, Akiko.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And yeah, for some of you who doesn't know, like all the speakers that we have today, came from Bali Spirit Festival. Where's the girl from Bali Spirit? Okay, right there. Norma. Okay, that's Norma. Can we have an applause for Norma? So, yeah, if you want to catch their session later at the Bali Spirit Festival, you can just check out their website and get the tickets right there as well. And also check the lineup for the Bali Spirit Festival. All right, so second speaker, we have Gaby Ashwanden. All right, you guys is almost forgetting that part. All right, Gaby is a lover of life, a positive psychology coach, a yoga teacher, and a writer. She studied the science of well-being and positive psychology with Harvard professor Tal Ben-Shahar, and also received a certificate in Science of Happiness at UC Berkeley. In addition, she became a certified master practitioner of NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, and holds 2 certificates in positive psychology coaching. Her mission is to inspire and empower individuals to live more wholehearted and become more joyful alive. Gaby lives in Zurich, Switzerland, and calls Bali her second home. She is in the process of writing a book about joy and is enthusiastic to share it soon with the world. So give it up, everyone, for Gaby.
Hello everyone. It's a pleasure to be here in my second home and I'm very excited. Imagine you are 108 years old and you just have a couple of minutes to live. You are surrounded by family and friends. What would you advise about life? I asked this question my dear friend Joe Mal here in Bali in 2015. Joe said, "Don't be fearful, accept fear, and then move through fear so that you can play in this beauty the world has to offer us." It was the last question I ever asked Joe. 3 months later, she has been diagnosed by stomach cancer. And another 2 months later, she has been taken by angel wings. I was devastated, and I knew I had this video. I knew I had to share it. So I put it on Facebook. It has been seen about 50,000 times, and I got messages from all over the world saying how much Joe's advice helped them. But I did not only ask Joe that question. I asked about 50 people around the globe the same question. And it's an honor and a pleasure to share today what they said and what they advise about to their future self. They said, be yourself, be authentic, live your true self, open your heart and your wings and show your true colors, to be who you truly are. We all have something special in us. We all have a song in us. We all have something to share. So keep up that light and shine it, not in the benefit of you only, but in the benefit of all of us. So shine and share your beautiful self with all around you, because that is precious and that is so important. But those people also said to be courageous, and it needs courage to take a step into the unknown. It needs courage to take a step into that stretched zone. But as the word courage comes from Latin, cor, it actually means heart. So it means to follow your heart and find your own path, the path which is yours, the path which is only yours. And as like Joseph Campbell said, it's a hero's journey, go yours. They also said, do the things you love. Be excited, be inspired, be enthusiastic what you're doing, and put your heart and your soul on fire to actually live life fully, to dance, to sing, to move, to be silly, to be joyful, but also to embrace the rainy days. That means to truly live fully. They mentioned to be present. Present with us, present with others, to connect with nature and maybe something bigger, but to be here and now, not yesterday and not tomorrow. They mentioned to be and to cherish friendships. I believe friends are a true gift in life. When you have someone with you can share your hopes, your tears, your dreams, your fears, to be vulnerable and to be show your true self, that is something to celebrate and something to cherish. And they said, be grateful. Say thank you. Say terima kasih. Say suksema. And see and be grateful for the things you have in your life. And not only see those things we do not have. And ultimately, they say to love yourself, to love and respect others, to love what you do, to love your life, to give love and receive love. I think that's the essence of all. But now, I ask you, what would you answer to this question? What would you advise to your loved ones? And now I turn it around and ask, do you live that today? Do you do the things which are important to you today? Because today is the day, not tomorrow, or not next week, or next year. Our time is limited. Our journey is short. So go for the things you want to do. And never forget, you have a choice in every single moment in your life. You can choose to see only the negative and count all your problems. Or you can choose to see the positive and see what all is in your life. It's a choice, and I believe it's time to flip the switch and to take your life into your own hands, to live what is important to you, to share your light, to say thank you, and to be who you really want to be. Because when you're 108 years old, you still want to see and dance to the music within you. And remember, don't be fearful. Accept fear, move through fear, so that you can play in this beauty the world has to offer us.
Wow. Yeah. Hashtag self-reminder. No, seriously, that's also the things that I always keeping to myself, to kind of like always remember to always be present, because somehow our mind is always running around every day. We have a lot of thoughts on our mind, and somehow we just don't realize on what is happening right now and be grateful as well on where we are. So yeah, now we're opening for the Q&A. So for some of you who have questions, please raise your hand.
How do you answer that question for yourself?
For me, is following the heart, following that voice and that song within, and dance to it. I think it's truly what I would answer. Thank you for asking.
Thank you, Gabby. Any other question? Dian, can you help me to pass the...
Hi. Here.
Hi.
Hello. My question is: have you had any big moment in your life that you had to pass for a transition, and you really had to follow your heart and decide what to do?
Yes, I had, and it has to do a lot with Bali. I have been 11 years ago here on a yoga retreat with Shivari, and I got this inner voice. Maybe it was the gods of Bali or the stars, I don't know. But something told me what to do. So I went home back to Switzerland, quit my job, rented out my flat, and I didn't know anyone in Bali. Came with 2 bags, and I was living here for 1.5 years. It was one of the best things I ever have done in my life.
Do we have... Okay. Is it on? No. Sorry. Can you turn off first?
We're getting feedback down here.
Getting the feedback.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Just shout. It's perfect. All right. It's fine. It's fine.
Is it fine now? Yes. Yeah, I wanted to say thank you because it's, what you're sharing with us right now, it resonates really a lot with me because it's what I'm living at the moment. So it's amazing. Thank you so much. I think my question was pretty much, first of all, the one you were just responding to. So I would probably say, I've seen you had you said you had a lot of certifications and you went to pretty good schools and studied a lot about this. So was it after obviously quitting your job and starting this new journey, or was it already before that? Like, how did you actually realize and found yourself within this world and started this new journey as powerful as it can be right now for you, I'm sure.
That's quite an interesting question. After Bali I moved back to Switzerland and I actually started to work in a bank again, so that's me too. And I know that's not what my heart is fulfilling. But I knew I need some cash to go on. So most of these educations I have done because my heart was really wanted to go further. And I think one of my things I tried to gather a lot, and but didn't show up too much, you know, to be afraid, to maybe thinking of not being good enough. But I think that's the step we have to take into the courage and follow our heart.
All right. Okay, give applause everyone for Gabby.
Thank you all.
All right, we go for the next speaker. We have Nino Mendes. All right. So, originally from France, Nino's yoga journey began in 2004 when he was introduced to his guru, Sri Dharma Mitra, in New York City. With affiliation to movement his entire life, yoga was not a foreign concept, and he readily recognized that the benefits were beyond physical. Nino is an expert in challenging students to break their plateau and reach the next level. He believed the only limit is in our minds, and yoga practice is the only path to awaken the sleeping soul and reach our full potential, the true self. So give applause everyone for Nino.
Hello everybody. My name is Nino. First of all, I think it's kind of weird talking about my life, but that's what I'm going to be doing. Thank you for letting me do that. So I call this one the path of a love soldier because it took me some time to realize what I was fighting for, kind of. You're going to understand why very soon when I tell my story. Yeah. So we're stuck here. That was 20 seconds, but it's not moving. So I don't know what to do. Oh, I'm serious. So this is where it's coming from. Because Megan told me, so where'd you come from? So this is where I'm coming from. Anybody here about Cape Verde Island? Yeah? Cesar Evora, a nice place, nice people, like to drink rum and stuff. So that's where my mom come from. And this is my mom. The strongest mama in the world. Because I wouldn't be here without her. She teach me so many things. She come to France, didn't know that much, you know, she didn't know how to read, all kind of stuff, and she, you know, she had 4 kids, alone, single mother, so I think that's actually the first teacher I had, my mom. So this is my village. Bonjour, bonjour, welcome to France. Je m'appelle Nino. So it's sort of like that. A lot of cheese, a lot of wine, a lot of coffee. Right? It's good, right? So that's where I come from. This is beautiful. If you can go, the name is Notra. And this is me with my sister. Yeah, I know. So I grew up a little crazy in my head. So I let you choose if it's a real gun or not. But that's the type of environment I grew up into. So yoga was very helpful for me, you can tell. And books. I find books one day and I start like playing with guns and I start reading books instead. Because it's safer and more interesting, you know? So for me, knowledge is a savior. Knowledge can really save life, you know? Knowledge saved my life. And until today, it's still saving my life. So books is really, and this is me loving the street. This story goes super fast, so I'm trying to catch up. So, and then I went back to the street because I just love the street. You know, when you don't have like something we really call a family, then family become your street. You know, street become your family, excuse me. So I was just loving the street a lot. That's what started happening to me. So I was finding a way to get this energy, this power out. So I started doing Muay Thai. Anybody know what Muay Thai is? It's something very stupid that 2 guys do. Like, I don't know you, but I'm gonna kick your ass. Just like that. So that's what I was doing because it's a good outlet. It's a very good outlet. And it's a beautiful art, but it's very painful. And then I just decide, I still don't know why, to do ballet. Because I'm not going to show you anything. But I did ballet at some point. So I started hanging out with like 10 years old little girls. And I was a 6'2" angry black dude. That was beautiful. And then as some guy named Jean-Paul Gaultier come to me in a place like, yo, do you want to become a model? I was like, what are you talking about? You're going to pay me to walk? It's like, yeah. Like, you're going to pay me just to walk? It's like, yeah, I'll do it all day, every day, man. I'll do it. So I started chilling with the stars. I was getting paid to walk. I was like, shit, you just get paid to walk. I love that stuff. And then, that's crazy, I feel bad to people, but anyway. And then I was like, okay, I'm a model now, so I want to be a superstar. So I started studying acting, which is actually a very good way to know yourself, you know? So that was the next phase of my life. And I want to be an actor, so I decided to go to, where's that? New York City. I was like, let's go. This little guy from France, studied modeling. I can be an actor in New York City, you know what I mean? So I just become a bartender. That was pretty cool. But you know, bartending is still alright, you know, and then... Sorry. Forget about the gun. I did a lot of weed and I get some cash. That was what happened to me in New York City. So the street back again, you know, so... Because New York is tough sometimes, so I was trying to find my family, and my family was in Harlem, but in Harlem, at some point I had a choice. And the choice came. And this is my guru, Sri Dharma Mitra. And this man right here just changed my life. I took my first yoga class that was so hard, I couldn't do anything. He just come back to me, come back to this class every day. It's like, every day, really? And I did. And I'm glad I did, because I find my path. Because of that guy. I was so caught up into the body, wanting to be strong. I studied the mind, you know, studying acting, reading books and stuff. And then Dharma and yoga helped me bring those three together. Body, mind, and spirit. So I was on my way to find myself. That's what happened. And I started doing a lot of yoga, studying a lot. And then I realized it's all a state of mind. Yoga is not what you do, yoga is how you do it. So I was like, fuck that, man. I want to do something else. So I joined the circus. Did I say something? I'm sorry. Don't worry about it. So I started joining the circus, and I went to China to become Blackie Chan. I was like, I'm going to China, man. I'm not scared. So I went to China, I went to Beijing, Serbia. I did, like, seriously. So I started hanging out with, like, little Chinese dude, super strong. And that's what I was doing, training from 6 in the morning till 9. And at that time, I'm like 29 and it's super tough. But I'm doing it because I realized that, yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know why I picked that one really, but anyway. The Chinese dream, that's what happened in China. I started teaching all over, and I'm still at people like, oh, you want to teach a class? Then there are like 10 people coming, 20, 30, 40, and then that day there's like 1,700 people in China. And then Megan asked me, why the hell did you do that stuff? I went to Mongolia, this is my butt, and this is my head, and this is painful. So, because I think I'm gonna keep training the dream muscle, which is everything is possible, guys. If you put your mind into it, anything is possible. So, I'm finishing up telling you guys that you are beautiful, you are perfect. And if you have a dream in mind, and you want to realize it, you can do it. Because as human, we are the miracle. Thank you.
All right, stay here. No, stay here. All right, does anyone have question? Okay, guy back there.
Young man, thank you for sharing. It was awesome. Awesome energy. Thank you.
Thank you.
And my question is, you're right now a spiritual guy, you're here in Bali doing all this great shit, but what's your secret when you're going back to, I don't know, New York? How you make sure you're not following the same path you did some years ago? How do you make sure you're not following the comfort zone, or dealing drugs.
Told you I was dealing drugs. I was just smoking weed and making money bartending.
All right.
Good question. Well, you know, I took a lot of different paths, and then some paths are like constructive. They help you become a better person, you know? So I was very open-minded. I would try anything. And certain paths, they just don't lead anywhere. So I went far enough into the bad one to realize that it's not gonna take me anywhere. And since I've done yoga, I realized that, you know, this is way better for me than just trying to be tough or whatever. So there's no way I'm going back to it. Unless the weed is real good.
All right. What is that?
I'm gonna end up in jail, guys. Let's not drink anymore.
All right. Second question. Does anyone have a question? Up there? No?
I have a question.
Okay.
I can just shout it. It's okay. So, Nino, after you've contorted yourself in a billion different directions in Mongolia, how do you see that pushing you forward in your life? What are you going to do with all the contortions?
I don't know. No, it's like I'm working on putting together all those crafts that I, you know, learned in my lifetime. Because, you know, acting, dancing, and all that stuff, and I want to create something and inspire people. That's really what I'm working on. And I'm adding music to it, and it's kind of a little, you know, crazy in my head like that, but I want to bring it together and like give it to inspire people. Because that's right, I just hurt my back so much, I might as well do something with it. No, that was good. Contortion is really nice, and as adults, you can start contortion, whatever you want to do. Find a good teacher. Because in Mongolia, they'd be like friggin' putting you in position. You want it or not, just do it for you. But if you come to my class and you do contortion, you'll be safe.
All right. I don't think I'll go there.
Yeah, you'll be too busy swiping, right?
Oh my. Oh wow. I'll just do swiping then. Okay.
Sorry.
No worries. Third question. Last question. Okay.
Hi. I was just wondering what brought you to Bali?
Megan.
Yeah.
She just, thank you, Megan. She just, like, yo, man, I saw your video on the internet and I want to meet you, and I just came, and then that was it. That's all I do, you know what I mean? I just wait. Sometimes something comes, sometimes it doesn't. But Megan brought me here, and I'm so happy because the energy is really nice here, you know? So I'm super happy, and I'm super grateful to be here, and thank you, Megan.
All right. Okay, so that's the last question. So thank you so much, Nino, for your time. A big applause, everyone. Okay, just want to let you know that I would encourage you guys to just mingling around after this. So as part of this event, the reason why we have this event in the beginning is for us to all gather together because, as you know, Ubud is a big place, and I believe from events we can bring all the people together, and this is the time for us to connect, basically. So if you have any other question, all the speakers will stick around after the events. So feel free to ask some question if you have some question for some speakers later. So they're gonna be around, and yeah. So next one. I'm gonna call my colleague, basically. So can I have an applause for Fito? He's not the speaker for today, but he's just gonna give you a little bit information on what we do. So Fito, please come on stage.
Thank you, Ashley. Alright, so I'm the commercial break of this event. So excuse me for that. Right, so I think there's a lot of good energy tonight, and this is why I love PechaKucha. You know, it's very entertaining. It's you come home and feel inspired. There's a lot of stories that helps you to go through life or maybe through your business as well. And I'm really enjoying tonight, so thank you all the speakers. So I'm here tonight because I would like to talk about what's happening around Ubud and in Bali, particularly about Ubud. So Kashi already mentioned earlier that Ubud is the organizer of this event, PechaKucha, for 7 years. I was also the organizer before. So my name is Vito and I am the head of experience and community of Ubud. And recently, 2 weeks ago, we have just merged with the first co-working space in Canggu called Dojo. Yeah, let's hear it. I'm really excited actually. I'm a bit nervous on stage, but I'm excited about this because what we're doing here is combining two communities together. Ubud has opened for 6 years, Dojo is 2 years. There are like 20,000 people that already came through our door. A lot of people who are, like successful doing business, startups, also life coaching and all this kind of stuff. And we're combining all together. So we're opening our doors for you guys. If you join our co-working space, you basically get access to 2 co-working space, one in Ubud and one in Canggu. So if you're in Ubud and you miss a bit of the sea breeze, sea vibe, you can just go there. If you're in Canggu and you missed our monkeys, you can just come up and work from our space. And not only that, we also have lowered the price as well, so it's accessible for everyone to tap into our community. There are 500 people, basically brilliant people, smart people that can help you as well with your business. Or just to get to know yourself, that's what we do as well in Ubud. And so please come to Dojo and Ubud and Canggu next. Right, another event that we're organizing is called Search Inside Yourself. So Search Inside Yourself is a 2 days workshop where we go deeper into our emotional intelligence. At this workshop, we will learn about mindful listening, leadership, and also how to focus, especially for all of you who run business, who run teams. It's difficult as well to focus while there's a lot of pressure from a lot of angles to deliver to to your clients and stuff. And this 2 days events will help you to solve those problems. This Search Inside Yourself, as you know, as you can see, the color is blue, red, yellow, green. It's the color of Google because it was born out of Google. And so during this event, not only did you learn that, we also learned the neuroscience factor behind it. So if you want to join, it's going to be on Friday and Saturday, the 5th and the 6th of April. Next. Another favorite event is happening in Ubud and in Bali soon. It's called Fuck Up Nights, and I apologize if I swear a lot tonight. Fuck Up Night is a night, or we can call it fun. Fun is a night where we celebrate failure. Because what? Everybody fucked up. Anyway, I'm gonna curse anyway, right? It's hard to not swear when you say about fuck up. So, the next event will happen in April. So on this night, we invite you to speak as well. We actually will have speakers, but this is the night where we'll hear about people sharing their failure. What did they do wrong? What did they learn? And how did they actually get out of it? We're still looking for 2 more speakers. So if you've ever fucked up really bad, we're not just looking for generic kind of fuck up, It has to be very bad. It's not about my inner saboteur and all this kind of stuff. No, it's all about that. For example, once I accidentally sent my colleagues to jail. I'm actually going to talk about it as well, so I'm one of the speakers. So if you want to come, it's going to be a Bali nice. Which day? In April, the 25th of April. Next. And of course, we're all here as well because of Bali Spirit Festival. So Bali Spirit Festival, it's coming to town again, where you have all this yoga and also wellness and also world music. It's happening for 7 days. So you see the dates over there. If you haven't bought the ticket, buy the ticket. If you have, then go. It's gonna be awesome. And so that's all from me. The commercial break. Thank you so much for listening and have a great night.
Thank you so much, Vito. All right, let's do the next speaker. Where's the next? Not yet, not yet. Oops, oops, oops. Let me go back. Oops, hashtag. Oops, oh my god, oh my god. Alright. Okay, it's fuck up night here. It's not fuck up night yet, okay. Wait. Okay, there you go. Nice one, Cash. Alright, it should be there. There you go. You know, things happen, right? So, I'm so sorry for what happens. So the next one we have Soma Temple. Okay, you guys still remember, that's good. So, Soma Temple. A 35-year resident of this powerful and holy island, Soma Temple is truly one of Bali's sacred goddesses. Both with her unbreakable faith and her determination to fill the world with love. A dedicated pioneer of Root Raksha movement and one of the founder of the world new appreciation for Malas through her jewelry brand Amrit Raksha Designs. An incredible mother, friend, and mentor, Soma is a warrior of the light in every sense of the words. So please, everyone, welcome Soma.
So, I'm here tonight to talk about the power of sacred Rudraksha beads. After all these funny things, it's like, really? We're going to talk about something serious? But it's not really serious. It actually really enhances your life. And I feel very lucky that this came into my life, the sacred Rudraksha beads. You've seen them everywhere in Bali. So now you get to see them, you get to understand what they're about. So my journey started with the Rudraksha beads. When I was 18 years old, I started wearing them, not knowing what they were. I was super attracted to them, and I had no idea what they were. I kept taking them apart, putting them in, making a different necklace, different things, until I met Papaji. And then he explained to me what they were. And one day, 25 years ago, he called me into his room, and he told me, I want you to spread Rudraksha beads around to the West. This is your destiny. And I was like, huh? Like these sadhu's beads, I'm supposed to send them to the world? And he said, yes, the world is in chaos and everybody needs them. And this is your mission, to spread them around the world. And we tried. I started making them as a hobby and doing different things. And it's amazing because the other thing that he said to me that day is that the whole world would be at peace if everybody was wearing Rudraksha beads. And I was like, wow. That's quite a statement. So we're doing our best at Om Rudraksha to create peace in the world, one bead at a time, one mala at a time. And I think that we're doing a pretty good job with it as you start to see malas all over the world, and everybody and every yogi's wearing them. They are considered to be the most ancient prayer bead on the world in history. They've been worn by Buddha, they were worn by Gandhi, the Dalai Lama wears them. Many, many spiritual and advanced teachers have always recognized the power of these incredible beads. They have unbelievable amounts of benefits. They've been studied over and over. They are an incredible asset to your spiritual life and to your path and awakening and your yoga and to finding out who you are and the divinity within you. So spiritually, we feel that they're the most unbelievable tool to awaken that divinity and consciousness which is in each one of you. They have a tremendous power to them, and the more that you start wearing them, you start to feel this power. They quiet your mind. They bring clarity to your mind. They create focus when you want to do something. They're truly the gem of beads. They also have incredible physical benefits where they are cooling to the body. They regulate the heart. They lower your blood pressure. They give you a sense of peace when you're wearing them, and they create a healing field within your whole body so that when you're wearing them, you sense this feeling of peace. You can drink the water, you can do many things. There's so many studies that have been done about the Rudraksha beads. And they have carbon in them, they have oxygen, they're 30% oxygen. They have nitrogen and hydrogen, which are the 4 things you find in nature. And as you put them on, you realize that, oh, you feel kind of the way you do when you're walking in nature, which is beautiful. The Rudraksha beads, they grow on trees, so they're very sustainable. We love this about them. There's no bad practices involved in obtaining them. And so they come in a very beautiful blue fruit. And inside each blue fruit is one Rudraksha bead. And it's been a tremendous effect on everybody's lives that has started wearing them. I started as a hobby, and because I was told to do it, so okay, I started to make these Rudraksha beads, and then I noticed that they were having tremendous effects on everybody's life, and I thought, wow, it's incredible. So a few months ago at a workshop that we do at the Yoga Barn, we had this little girl come to our workshop. She's 11 years old, and she was severely mentally challenged. And we weren't sure if she was going to be able to do it or not. Her mother was so impressed because she sat there through the whole session making these beads, and we were blown away about this. So we brought them back into the lives of the Balinese people, which is one of my greatest joys, because it's part of their heritage, it's part of their culture. And even though had lost the knowledge about it, it's something that slowly they're coming back. The Padandas were wearing them for centuries. They wear 9 malas. They wear 3 over on one side, 3 on the other side, 3 around their necks, their thumbs, their wrists, their forearms. They're incredible because they realize that when they're doing big ceremonies that they protect them and that they amplify energy and spiritual awareness. At our office, we work with sacred objects and we really believe them to be sacred. So we try to create an atmosphere of awareness and teach everyone to be mindful in what they're doing and to have good vibes and good energy while they're making them, because the beads absorb this energy. So we want our workshop to be conscious and everyone to learn to live with integrity, with authenticity, and to be a leader in the world, and to be a leader of how to have a peaceful life. Caring is sharing. I really invite all of you to be the change you want to see in the world. It's amazing when you give back. Share your love, share your joy, share your profits. Be that change. I didn't really plan to start a brand. I started out to create a movement, which I believe I've accomplished. Because as you can see, especially in Ubud, we have so many malas and Rudraksha beads all over the place. And I'm very happy because we surely cannot make them for the whole world. So, thank you very much for letting me share this with you.
Just want to give you information that I always doesn't know the name of the beads. So I just had a talk with her before we have this presentation going. So since it's very hard to pronounce, so just want to give you an idea. Because right now, if I ask you again, what's the name of the beads? What's the name of the beads?
Rudraksha.
Oh, okay, you guys are good.
See, they're very popular.
Okay, it's only me then. Because I was like, okay, so how you call it is like root, rock, sha, right? Root,
You
rock,
got
sha,
it.
because because it's rooting on your, I don't know, what is it? Like, well, if you know what I mean.
In your soul.
In my soul. Okay, thank you so much, so much. All right, so now we're opening for question. If you have some question for Soma.
Thank you for the presentation.
You're welcome.
I actually saw these beads in the shop before and I wanted to purchase them. But I saw that they designed as this is for love, this is for, they mix with different crystal as well. So, like, if I want to have everything,
So put them all on your mala. Put every stone that means anything to you on your mala and mix them with Rudraksha beads.
so we can like mix one together.
Of
right?
course,
Okay.
yes,
And
yeah.
do you have any more workshop coming? Can I design one with you or something?
Yes, we have many.
Where? Where?
Bali Spirit Festival.
Bali Spirit Festival it is. All right, well, another question?
I was wondering if there was any like fake Rudrakshes on the market and how you would tell a fake from a real one. Good question.
That's a very good question. There are fake Rudraksha beads. They're not so common here. There is one tree that produces them that are very similar. But most of the beads that you see that are portrayed as Rudraksha beads, they truly are Rudraksha beads. There's just different qualities of them. So there's different grades as in most things, in stones, anything, there's different qualities of them. That's basically, they're pretty much all real that you find in Bali. I've never seen fake ones here in Bali. I've seen plastic ones before. It's kind of easy to tell they're plastic. Only in China.
I heard about this Rudraksha having faces. They call it faces. So, and the amount of those faces on the bead itself have different meanings. Could you say something about it?
Sure. They're called mukis, and they're basically a Rudraksha bead is like an orange, and it has lines on it, like a section of an orange. Generally, almost all of the Rudraksha beads have 5 faces, or 5 mukis. Occasionally, you find them from 1 muki to 24 muki is the largest that I've ever seen. They're quite rare. And each muki, 1 muki, 2 muki, 3 muki, they're all related to a Hindu god. And they have different aspects for you when you wear them. I don't work with them a lot because I want to spread them to the whole world. We do have access to them, and I do provide them for people when they ask for them, because I think it's a very specialized kind of thing. And so, but it exists, and they're real, and they come from 1, which has just 1 line in it, and it's kind of an oval shape, like your pinky finger, kind of, with 1 line in it. And then 24 is very, very rare, and they can be extremely expensive, like thousands of dollars, coming directly from the plantations.
All right, thank you so much, Soma.
Thank you so much.
All right, the next one, we have Loki. Okay, one more. Next one, we have Loki. Nice. That's how I like. All right, so Loki is recognizing as a leader in the international conscious dance community, having personally introduced and inspired ecstatic dance to countries all over the world, including Hong Kong, France, Singapore, South Africa, Estonia, and even Alaska. He was pivotal in establishing Ubud, Bali, as one of the top conscious dance destination of the world. So what are we waiting for? So please, Loki, welcome to the stage.
Thanks, Cash. Hi, everybody. Okay, I have my phone because I wrote this morning. Imagine yourself dancing. Close your eyes and see yourself dancing to your favorite music. Take a minute. Notice that when we imagine ourselves dancing, there's no room for other thoughts. No drama, no worries, no thoughts about money. And when we dance, actually dance, it's the same thing. There's no space for thoughts. When we dance through our worldly concerns. We dance to a place where there is no past or future. There's just the present moment. When we dance, we embody the full acknowledgement that we're alive, that we're well, and that we're vital. It's an affirmation of our existence and an act of saying, I'm alive and I'm cool with it. It's like this. So I love dance, and I believe the purpose of dance is to offer us access to the present moment. That's why we do it, to drop the mind. And in my peak dance experience, I hope to drop not only my mind, but my idea of myself, my identity, my physical limitations. And I like to think that I can merge with something greater than myself. Something timeless. So it's in that I find this striking parallel with the New Age quest for spirituality, or the ancient Eastern philosophies, with the whole be here now, the oneness, the no mind, the presence, the spirit. And all of these trendy words make me believe that dance is, in its simplest form, the most accessible spiritual practice that there is. I believe it offers us all equally an opportunity for deep energetic rejuvenation and spiritual connection on our own terms and in our own unique way. And when we do it together, our hearts literally synchronize to the same beat and become one beat, which is pretty cool. So whatever all that means, dance is a long history. It's been an ancient human technique for celebration, for recreation, and an expression of our vitality. And it's been a part of us from the very beginning. It's a universal language of love and joy that all humans recognize across all cultures. It transcends culture. It's a cultural unifier. And over generations, it's gone through so many things, and now it's coming back in a new culture to remind us of our potential. So some people say that we're evolving, but I think we're just catching up. We're learning how not to destroy the planet, we're learning how not to destroy ourselves and each other, and we're learning how to dance without booze and drugs. So, with the rise of AI and digital connections and experiences, it's more vital than ever that we just hang out and have physical, social activities. And I think that ecstatic dance is really poised to be the perfect fit because it requires no skill or experience. It's simple, and you just need enough sass to shake that booty.
Yes!
That's all you need. So there's 4 rules, and a general expectation that you behave with respect to the people around you. And that's it. Throw in a couple of hours of cutting-edge music and your body will take over, and your mind will disappear, and you'll quite possibly have one of the most liberating and illuminating meditations you've had in a very long time. So they call it a journey because it starts in stillness and it ends in stillness, and the music goes from silence to silence, and in the middle it goes a little crazy and everybody has a really good time. So what we're seeing with ecstatic dance around the world is people are coming together and congregating in these underground venues like old churches and community venues and clubs in the daytime and even on the streets, and they're dancing together. And I'm going somewhere with this. They're breathing life into the venues, but also into the community and into themselves. It's really something that's happening, and I'm privileged to be a part of it and to see it and to see the effect that it's having. And what I love most about ecstatic dance is the community aspect. And so you get such a wide variety of people, beautiful girls as well, but you get all of the spectrum. So this is what really turns me on, is that we have elders dancing with teenagers and there gets to be a cross-pollination of ideas through movement. And I think that it's really enriching. People are smiling at each other. They're literally beaming, and there's no words needed, and no one's asking, where are you from, or what are you doing? So people think this is ecstatic dance. This is an ecstatic dance party. They're really excited. They're ready to go and try ecstatic dance, and they come full power, ready for some action, and this is what they end up seeing, is this. So it's different from city to city, and if you take it from Bali and you've had this amazing experience at the festival or something, you're like, I love ecstatic dance, I found out about ecstatic dance. You go home, you might walk into something like this and be like, this is not ecstatic dance. Well, it takes many forms, and some communities are just starting out, and one of the things that I've witnessed is to start something like this actually takes a lot of time. This is the beauty of the Yoga Barn ecstatic dance. This is a few years ago, where everybody knows your name. And it's just magic, you know, literally everyone knows each other. This is in Encinitas, and it just goes to show how you can have kids and elders, and it's just so beautiful. It's really, that's what I get my kicks from, is to see us all together having a ritual where we show up and, you know, lovers are meeting. And, oh, here's a quote. That's the end of my talk. They say to dance like nobody is watching. I think that implies that we are afraid or ashamed to dance in front of people. I say dance like everybody is watching. Like your children are watching, like your ancestors. It's in here somewhere.
Read up the string,
Like your family is watching. Dance for those who are hurting, those who can't dance, those who lost loved ones, and those that suffer injustices throughout the world. Let every step of your dance be a prayer for humanity. Most of all, dance for Creator, who breathed into your soul, so you may celebrate this gift of life.
Thank you.
All right.
I did it.
You did it. Oh my God, I'm super nervous. I'm also nervous. Just want to let you know that actually Loki making all this presentation together just by 3 days. 3 days.
This morning.
So please give an applause, guys. He's trying his best. I told you it's not easy to be on the stage. So I really appreciate to all the speakers who come up to me or just making this all presentation together. So thank you so much all the speakers as well for keeping this together. So, all right. Ooh, all right, we have some question already.
Hi. I am a totally fan of ecstatic dance. And you've been in quite some cities, I think. Hopefully you've been in Amsterdam. Yeah, well that's my favorite place, definitely. So my question to you is, because I see a lot of different ecstatic dances, do you have a favorite place and the way they do ecstatic dance? Because there is a difference, and I think you know what I mean when you've been to Amsterdam. Because I would love to see that here, but it's something else. So what is for you the perfect way of ecstatic dance?
Thank you for the question. What I try to do when I show up to an ecstatic dance floor and play the music is to just unify everybody and to make everybody feel comfortable. And if I can accomplish even 99% of that, I've done my job, and the rest isn't even me. It's just what happens when a bunch of people feel good together. And I don't think that we're familiar with that in our society, and we try, but we fail, and we use alcohol and drugs, basically. So it's really, and then there's another central key to that is the decentralization aspect, where everybody's empowered equally, and nobody, like as though I'm the DJ, but I like to play over here, because it's not about a performance, it's actually, it's a ceremony for everybody to just like do whatever they need to do. So my dream ecstatic dance experience is all of those things, and I guess my favorite ecstatic dance that I've ever been to was actually the Encinitas picture with the elders and the kids and everything, I went to one, they called it Dance Church, and they have different names. Ecstatic dance is just the most popular one. So at this place, I went over there and I checked it out. I didn't play, but I went to dance, and there's a girl in the corner playing an iTunes playlist with really bad music. And I was like, okay, but the vibe was spectacular. And there were kids running around, and there were guys, and there was the people, and mothers are hugging, and it was just, and there were elders dancing, and everybody gave everybody permission to just dance. There was no, like, oh, I don't know about this, and no, there's no posing. It was just legitimate community doing their Sunday ritual.
Okay, thank you, Loki. Next question.
Hey there. I had also some quite amazing dances. Not that much, but some. And for me, it can be kind of life-changing when you start to really connect and you start to just let your mind go. So how did you come into this dancing thing? How did you get drawn into that? And what is your top life-changing insight that you got from it to implement into your life or whatever, awareness?
I'm gonna hang out later and I'll tell you all about it. It's such a long story, but I think to give you a nice answer, there's like all corners of my life experience have culminated to give me the skills required to hold space for a bunch of people. I had some great masters show me different things. I used to work on sailing yachts and we'd do long distance voyaging. And so I learned how to take care of people psychologically for voyages. And so recognizing when people come into a space, the liabilities and the strengths and weaknesses, and working with it to keep a good vibe. And so there's that. And then the music itself, I've always had a pretty beautiful relationship with my ears, hearing things and working with sound. And it's such a long story how I found myself here, but I actually came to Ubud for 2 weeks, and I've been here for 6 years. And in the 2 weeks that I came to visit a good friend of mine, there was a party happening, and I went to the party, and it was Bali Spirit Festival time. It was actually Narco was playing at this warehouse party, and my buddy asked if I wanted to play some music on my iPod. I had one of those iPods with a jog wheel. And I'm like, yeah, sure, because like I just got off the ocean on my boat. I had all these weird music and stuff. I plug in and I play before, during the interval, and after Narco's warehouse set, and it kind of just made people's minds pop. And they started to call me a DJ, literally. Like, I'd come to like the restaurants the next week and they'd be like, that's that DJ guy. And I wasn't a DJ, I just had a jog wheel iPod thing. And so word sort of traveled because I had this new music that no one had heard before. Even Narco was just like, how are you doing this with this thing? And it was like, I don't know. And then the yoga band called me and said, we hear that you're a DJ. I think you could like do some of the ecstatic dances. And I said, okay. And so then I go at my laptop and I got a pirate DJ software program, and I started to like go, ooh, and the rest was history.
Alright. Well, I've been living here for 2 years, but I've never been to ecstatic dance ever. So, I don't know.
Come.
Ooh, that's an invite.
It's like real life swiping. You can just be like,
real life swiping. Okay.
Step outside of your comfort zone, kind of.
All right. Any other question?
I would love for you to talk about all the rules, from no talking to no photographs. It's just really interesting to me that it's so loose and so free, and you can come in and basically, I imagine some people even dance naked. And it's just fascinating that in this world we live in where everyone wants to take photographs and it's not allowed in this environment. So I'd love to have you talk about that. And I was wondering if it started that way or if you changed it because you noticed how people kind of ruined the experience when everybody had their camera out.
Rules. Yeah, it's that age-old political question. So the 4 rules are no shoes, no talking, no phones or cameras, and no drugs and alcohol, which leaves a lot on the table actually when you think about it. But they're all self-explanatory. I think shoes is because you're like, you could easily step on someone with shoes.
Okay, yeah, heard.
Cameras because it's about being present, right? So cameras really just take it out of the present moment, and we no one came there for that, it is getting harder, But and no talking because it's just such a buzzkill. Again, nobody came to listen to you talk, right? They're here for the music and to just converse over the top as it is. So that's why I love it as well. There have been people naked. There have been the biggest thing that will come up is sexuality, because the music can really evoke sensuality, and so people start feeling things they haven't felt. And this is actually, I could talk at length about this because I've seen just how many different people get affected in so many different ways when you play a sexy song. And I have people looking at me and I'm just it's just enjoy the music, right? I have people think that I'm the devil. I have people think that I'm a saint. I have everything in between. And that's just the projection stuff. But then on the dance floor itself, it can get out of hand, and I think that what it requires is really good, mature guidance and leadership, but not so much from words, but more from musicality and sort of preemptively knowing how to counter the sexuality when it comes up. You can feel it. It's in the room, and having the right music to bring it down as well. One thing I noticed when I stopped DJing every week, and there was a rotation of DJs, that changed very much the power dynamic in the space. And so previously I was holding it, and people recognized me as the captain, and it was kind of "We're all here, sir," and I just had a nice, I didn't realize until it was gone. But then what happened when I left, and all these, there was a rotation going, and often they weren't at the dance the week before, but the dances were every week. And so it turned into a power vacuum where the most alpha male and females that were on the dance floor every week sort of took the power, and they created the sexual metrics, and they got out of hand because the guest DJ didn't know what to do.
Yep.
And so, it does, it gets interesting. And then it really comes down to the more dynamic and biodiverse the crowd, and the more consistent communities show up, there becomes a natural strength, because it takes a village. And so my recommendation for a good ecstatic dance floor is consistent people coming. If you can have the same people, the ratio of new people to regular people should always be well and truly in the regulars. And then the more diverse, the more elders, and the more kids, the better.
All right, thank you so much, Loki. Well, I've never been to ecstatic dance. I always have this thought on my mind. I'm what is everyone's doing? Why is it so popular? All right. So let's next move on to the next speaker. We have Cole Chance. Okay, so this is the last speaker. Before she starts, I'm gonna read her bio for a bit. So Cole has been a seeker all her life. It has brought her into the depths of addiction to all corners of the world, and most importantly, to the path of yoga. Though through this practice, she has begun to understand, unreveal, and explore the most fascinating of all landscapes, the inner one. Cole is currently based here in Ubud while teaching yoga online and around the globe. So everyone, please welcome Cole!
All right, hello. This might get a little more heavy, but I'll promise I'll bring you back up. I know what the deep end of isolation feels like, and I know what shame can do to a person in the depths one will go not to feel it. This is a love story, a rupture and redemption, a losing and a finding. I was a happy child. I came from a very loving family. The first time I questioned my worth was in middle school, when the cocktail of preteen hormones kicked in and acceptance was the currency. I began to have anxiety without knowing its name. At 13, I tried alcohol for my first time, and a life I didn't realize was black and white turned into a vivid technicolor. As the ease flooded in, I promised myself that I was going to do this forever. I started sneaking out of the house, and I met a cool older boyfriend. And the first time I had sex, I got pregnant at 14. The abortion was held in a small, Christian, conservative, middle American town with protesters there to welcome me and let me know their opinion. On top of numbing out the anxiety, I now had a new beast called shame to suppress. I digested not that I had made some bad choices, but that I was bad. A story I set out to prove again and again. If high school was a daze, then my college attempts were a blackout. Hard partying took priority, and I was a good bad girl. I was having fun. I loved the way drugs and alcohol made me feel more like me, the most like me. I felt connected, vibrant, amplified, ignited. I had this vision of myself with my head thrown back, my eyes closed, mouth open, laughing, joy. The problem was that my brain and my body were becoming heavily dependent. As time passed, the neural pathways deepened, my tolerance rose, and I started drinking in the mornings to quell the shakes that were coursing through my body as it demanded its medicine. I knew I was sick, but I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to be sober. I wanted to find a way to do it right. I went to 5 or 6 different rehabs. I was on rehab tour. Luckily, in one of them, I took my first yoga class. I recalled focus on the breath, and the movement brought a sense of ease that I hadn't felt in a long time. And the teacher described Namaste as my higher self sees your higher self. And that was a revelation, as I didn't know I had a higher self. I completed the program, and I was drunk within a few hours. This chaos went on for several years, but a seed had been planted. In those days, rather than asking me how the drug and alcohol use was doing, you could ask me when's the last time I'd been to a yoga class, and you could deduce the same answer. Back in my addiction, my previous joys had been replaced by dry heaving and desperation, by seizures, handcuffs, ambulances, and lots of hospitals. In the end, my mother, my biggest advocate, had to cut me off while she waited for the phone call that no parent wanted to get. My addiction felt like a deep, thick, abrasive claustrophobia, like I was inside a bubble that I could see the world, but I couldn't interact. My medicine had become my poison. My grace came in the form of a heroin overdose. When I came to in excruciating pain, I did the only thing I knew how, and I went to the liquor store, but it did not work. Nothing happened. There was no ease for my dis-ease. The high and the happy that used to go together were never going to go together again. And my psyche was cracking. My mask and my denial had been ripped away, and it had to be over. Soon after I crawled my way into a yoga studio, I got down on my knees in child's pose, that beautiful pose of surrender, and I lost it, ugly cry style. Deep grief, but also the first glimpses of hope. I knew I had to stay on my mat, and I did, and I've been sober ever since. I still frequent rehabs, but now to teach. I'm carrying on one of my teacher's programs, teaching yoga at the prison here in Bali. And my mother and I have a beautiful relationship. My practice continues to be my refuge, where I come back to meet myself again and again, and not only my higher self, but all parts of me. I most certainly am still a rebel, but I no longer believe that I'm bad. And when that story arises, I'm getting better and better at soothing that wounded part of myself. My biggest lesson has been through vulnerability, sharing and listening, and the understanding that pain is not personal, but it is collective. And rather than isolating, it can be connecting. I have seen shame hit the floor when tough words reach the air and are met with a nod of understanding. We are not that different. We all want to be seen. And that permission, that recognition of a shared humanity, that is a love story.
Oh my God. The first time I heard the story, I was like, wow, this girl, what a long journey. All right, I believe that you guys have some question. So please raise your hand if you have some question. No question?
Well, I'm very sorry, I don't have a question. But I really enjoyed your story. And the way you are at the stage, and the way you talk, and showing your vulnerability, and your tears, and your emotion. That makes that I believe you totally. And I want to thank you because you touched my heart. So you are a really good storyteller, and probably a really good yoga teacher. So let's see if the question is popping up. What is your favorite yoga pose? I just do something.
My favorite yoga pose is probably Natarajasana. And I teach this often. It is dancer pose. And Natarajasana is depicted dancing with fire all the way around. So the symbolism is that learning how to dance in the chaos. So that seems quite fitting.
Okay. So how is it like? Can I ask? Okay.
Want to do it?
Yeah, okay, I'll try. Yeah, all right. Oh my God, what is that? Okay, I cannot. I prefer the child pose, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Next speaker. What? Next question. Loki.
Hi. I was just feeling into the future, and I was curious, when you look forward, what
do you look forward to? What gives you joy other than yoga?
What really brings me joy is traveling. Is probably one of my biggest joys. Since I was a little kid, people used to ask me what I wanted to do when I grow up. People would say lawyer, doctor, and I would say, I want to move to New York City, as that's what I wanted to be when I grew up. But I've always wanted to travel, and I read travel logs for, so many travel logs, and I remember reading them with one eye open, half drunk, and once I got sober, I very quickly began traveling, and actually Bali was one of my first stops. And it was amazing because, first of all, I didn't know what anyone did sober. I didn't know what I was going to do. I thought my life was going to be horrible. And I came here, and I was here for a month, and nobody ever offered me a drink, and a static dance at Yoga Barn, just all of these things. This was such a healing place for me, just to realize that there was another way of maneuvering around the world. But I continue to travel. I travel all the time. It's just to see different ways of navigating. It's been beautiful. It brings me a lot of joy.
All right. Last question. Do we have last question? There you go.
Okay, so what advice would you give to those who are struggling with addiction, any kind of addiction, just how to stay focused, not give up? I mean, what kind of advice would you give for them to, get past that?
Really bringing in some patience and some kindness, because we are already, in an addiction, whether it's drug abuse or food or sex or whatever it is. You already have so much shame by this point. You already are feeling like shit. So whenever you're creating a new pathway, whenever we're creating anything new, there's trial and error. And to have kindness and patience in those moments whenever you relapse or whatever is going on. I love this idea of an upward spiral. That often whenever we come to the same place, we feel like we've had a relapse and we think that we come into a same place, it's actually an upward spiral. That while it looks like you're in the same place, that's what a spiral does, is it does come around, but it goes up and up and up. And to kind of look at it more as a process and a journey. I love you.
All right. Thank you so much, Cole. All right. So we're at the end of the event. So I want to say thank you so much for everyone who is coming. Can we have a big applause for everyone? So thank you so much for coming. And before we leave, can I call Megan? Where's Megan? Okay, so she wants to give us a little message. So please, Megan.
Thank you. I just want to make a spontaneous kind of affirmation here that I listened to everyone tonight and I had tears in my eyes for everyone, because I call every one of these amazing presenters as my friends, and I'm mesmerized by what every single one of these people that are here tonight, but also that come to the Yoga Barn or come to Bali Spirit Festival, what they have to offer and the journey that they have gone through to come here to then offer. And I just think that they represent all of our human experience, that all of us have something so beautiful to offer. And I just want to thank you guys, really. It really is, it's beautiful to hear all of you. And I just feel blessed to be able to create an event where everyone can come together and experience. And I'm not going to do a pitch for Bali Spirit. That's not the point. But I just think that I can barely see any of you because of these lights, but for all of you guys sitting here and for all of you who don't know me very well, that the reason why I do what I do is just for this. Is that I feel like for some reason I'm a catalyst to bring people together, to exchange energy more than anything else. And it's a beautiful energy, and I'm just really grateful. So thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you, Ash, and everybody. So have a beautiful night.
Thank you, Megan. All right, so just want to let you know that I hope to see you at the next PechaKucha. So at Ubud, we always organize PechaKucha at least 4 times a year. So for some of you who wants to be one of the speakers, I'll be here. Or you can email me later, or just catch up outside since I'm gonna go outside anyway, and then we can go and talk together. Because we're pretty open if you want to talk at one of our events. And also, as Vito said, we are going to have fuck-up nights coming up. So for some of you who wants to come and talk, or just come as attendance, it will be on the 25th of April, so feel free to let me know if you want to be one of the speakers. So thank you guys so much for coming, and I'll see you next time. Yeah.